What's up guys, Medal of Pizza here with the 5th of the 30 Strikes challenge. Today we're gonna review the remake of one of my favorite childhood games, so without further ado remember to press like and subscribe and let's jump straight into it. Two things right off the bat. This is a spoiler-free review, and I will be treating this like it's a brand new game. I want to put nostalgia aside, as I mentioned it's one of my favorite childhood games, so I will try to be as objective as I can. Final Fantasy VII Remake is an RPG that contains most of the key elements to make a nerd happy. There is magic, there is monsters, and there is weirdly looking people, and there is an imminent peril that involves all the before mentioned things combining together. You go places, you fight enemies, get experience, save the world, bang the chick, and feel good about yourself at the end. The game looks marvelous, with a beautiful mix of steampunk and modern architectures. The landscapes are depressing yet breathtaking in a way that only Final Fantasy knows how to deliver. The fight system is fun, but here's where my issues start. It feels glitchy sometimes. The way it works is that you usually command one of the characters of your party, while the others are guided by the CPU. You might have 2 or 3 depending on the fight. When fighting you spam on the attack button, and for each hit you land a bar called the AP gets gradually filled, and when the bar is full you get to perform an action such as casting a spell or using one of the character's special abilities. Every character has its own abilities and weapons, while spells, skins and summons are usually interchangeable, and they're made into what's called materials. Materia are like colored orbs that the player can give to any character, and characters have more or less slots depending on their weapons and gears. The problem in fights is that the camera is a piece of shit, and if you actually want to land anything on the enemies, the best way is to lock the target, but most of the time, as soon as I lock the target, my character also becomes the target for the enemies, leading to it taking way more damage than it should. Which is so fucking annoying, and what the fuck, what's the reasoning behind that? I mean, if monsters were engaging against other members of the party, just let them be, why? You can play around it by having the CPU controlled character using its own abilities, but for some reason when the AI controls them, their AP bar doesn't fill up, despite them landing multiple attacks. Without mentioning that most characters are able to jump huge leaps to fight enemies in the air, but are too dumb to do it in real life, which leads to a second huge problem of this game. It's stuck on a track. Yeah, like a train. Woo woo! I mean, I spent hours, chapters just by going straight, on a straight line. Yes, the places look stunning, there's a fight every once in a while, and I was following the story. And after all, this part of the remake is mostly based on establishing the characters and, you know, the main point of the plots, which is similar to what the first is did in the original version as well. But the point is that I feel goddamn stuck. I was finding doing the side quest refreshing, and I usually hate doing the side quest. As many RPG, side quests are mostly unrelated with the main plot, and in Final Fantasy VII Remake they usually go from finding something in the map to beat somebody at a minigame. They're okay, but you know, there's not a lot of places where to farm your character through the gameplay, so having to do these side quests also feels a bit like a cheap way of having you obtaining special items during the course of the game, which makes it less way satisfying than having to find a rare monster or to explore a hidden dungeon. I'm not gonna lie, the story is not just as entertaining as it used to be. They managed to improve a lot on it. It feels so easy to fall in love with most of the characters, and the writers made an exquisite job into building and developing their personalities over the gameplay. The story is also a masterpiece, feeling awkwardly contemporary despite being set up in what looks like a far future. And overall, yes, it's hard to keep the nostalgia away, but I genuinely feel this is a good title, and I have to say, I don't regret spending about 50 hours of gameplay with it. I really hope you found this review helpful, and if so, remember to gently press the like button and to subscribe. Bye.